Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be creating a free Kontakt instrument for you that's eerie and Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be creating a free Kontakt instrument for you which is going to be eerie whistling. Okay, so when I was writing Throat 4 recently, which was the most recent Elephant Music Throat album, one of the things I did was the kind of remit was to use my voice a lot when I was writing it. I obviously ended up layering drums and cello and violin onto it. But so what I did was I thought, okay, well, how am I going to create a pad? Specifically, how am I going to create a kind of like string harmonic pad with my voice? And the first thing I thought was obviously whistling is going to be a good one, but I don't want just straight whistling because doesn't sound very good. And firstly, I can't whistle a continuous note in tune very well, if at all. So I thought, well, why don't I just create this whistling pad effect where I layer 3 whistles, all whistling the same note. One whistling at me doing the flat note as best I can. One whistling going slightly up out of tune and back in, up out of tune and back in, and one going slightly down out of tune. And the effect it created was just great. I really liked it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a very simple Kontakt instrument for myself and for you that uses that effect. So the steps are going to be, I'm going to record 3 notes. So yeah, that A, then a 5th up the E, and then a 5th up the A. So I will transpose them down, so I will have a 2-octave pad of whistling, essentially. And each one, like I said, will have 3 layers, and then I'm going to do a bit of, I say wizardry, it's not wizardry, I'm going to do a bit of logic stuff where I just then bounce them down and maybe give them some effects so they sound a bit more eerie, etc, etc. Probably chuck them into a reverb as well. Or not, we'll see how it sounds. Okay, so I'm going to put my headphones on and I'm going to start to record. I'm not going to let you watch the whole of this recording bit because it would probably be a bit tedious, you know. Yeah. Oh, there we go, done. I've recorded my, let's just name these just so I call it root, and then call this sharp, and call this one flat. So I've kind of recorded my basic sounds. Obviously, I had to take a breath. So what I'm going to do is, this is just a copy. So I'm going to normalize this, you know. Yay, there we go. That is brutal. So I'm just going to take this, take that, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of crossfading. Big, long crossfade, and I don't want to, so Logic does this annoying thing where it goes to equal power crossfade, which I really don't like the sound of. Nice. So I want this pad to be kind of long, not super long. So how long are we? We're on 30 seconds. So could we? Yeah, we could probably afford to go a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. There we go. Again, change that to a normal crossfade. And just fade this one out so it doesn't clip. And now here, I'm going to normalize this one as well, and while I'm here, normalize this too. Ooh, nice. Okay, so I had to take a breath, didn't I? So let's cut that and put that across. Cut that, and I'm trying to match up the amplitude as well, so it's a little bit similar. And notice we've got different lengths, which isn't bad. In fact, I quite like that. There we go. So let's have a listen to this so far. Yeah, that's super loud. Okay, so I just want to take note of the fact that this is all in mono at the moment. So let's just go into imaging, put it to stereo, keep it central, sharp, I'm going to send right, flat, I'm going to send left, just because. Let's narrow it a bit, send it right. Then my viola's playing for sharp. I say violas, that's where I imagine everything happening, imagining that. And then my second violin's playing flat. Okay, sweet. That's sounding a lot better now that we've changed the volume and stuff. And let's just move these across. I'm just transferring these so that we've got a kind of similar sized sample. Because remember, I'm going to bounce all of these together. Crossfade, no you don't. Equal power, no. And then just give it a little fade out, etc. And let's just give these a bit of a fade in, fade in, fade in. Okay. So I am going to bounce this in place. And this is my A3. Meep. Okay, so there we go. There is our A3 file. And I want to, what I'd quite like to do is give you guys I'm not going to do any fancy stuff with this Kontakt instrument. I'm probably going to give you a couple of instances. But my gut is telling me just to give you a wet one. That sounds horrible. I don't mean like that. I mean like that has a nice amount of reverb in it. So if we load up Altiverb, Altiverb has some lovely long cathedrals in it. So let's open up, yes, Notre Dame. You know what? Although I should edit this bit out, I'm going to scrap that. I'm going to give this to you dry so that you can place all the reverbs you want in. Because if I just burn in this Notre Dame reverb, then it doesn't give you the option and the flexibility that I would like. So this is going to be dry, eerie whistling. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with A3. Now we need to record E4 root, E4, oh, hello, like the channel, E4 sharp, and E4 flat. There we go. Okay, I'm going to place the audio files in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and record these. Okay, so I've gone ahead and recorded the E1s too, the E roots, sharps and flats, and I've panned them accordingly and lowered their volume a little bit. So I'm just going to bounce these in place, call this E4. There we go. So I now have my E4. Now the one thing I do want to check is my EQ. So let's have a look at this. So you see I'm actually getting quite a lot of low rumbling going on in my EQ because of this. So we're going to take that out. So we probably want I'm going to use a single band EQ for this. Probably going to have a high pass filter, single band. There we are. High. Oh yeah, low cut. So I sometimes my brain's like it takes me a minute to figure out low cut, low pass, high cut, high pass, high shelf, whatever it is. Okay. So let's. So there we go. I mean, I can actually cut it at 910, right? Around maybe 650, right? But is there actually interesting character down here? I like the character. It's kind of like when you record a bow and a string bow, record a violin being bowed really close, and you hear the sound of the bow moving across the strings. I quite like it. Otherwise, it sounds pretty dead. So I'm going to leave it at 305, and I'm going to just copy that across to the A3. Okay, so now I have my two samples. So it's starting to give you an idea as to how these are going to sound now, which I really like. Wait, what did I just do? A hide you. There we go. And I seem to have hidden A3. Not you. There we go. Which I really like, and it's sounding cool. So I'm going to do now A4. Same again, just recording the whistling, and then we can actually export this and open it up in Kontakt and start playing it. Winning. Okay, let's normalize. Crossfades. Okay, level the volume. Great, and bounce in place. Wait, no. Direction mixer. Okay, there we have it. I'm just going to... Nice. Just gonna play around with these a little bit. So you can hear how weird that is, but also how cool it is. It's very ethereal and very evocative. I mean, these are essentially our samples that we're going to load into Kontakt. Well, I say essentially. They are our samples we're going to load into Kontakt. And I'm just going to add a little bit more in here. Just bring this in a little bit tighter. Fade those in, or out, I should say. Fade these guys in a touch more. There we go. Save. Right now, I'm going to export these and load them into Kontakt. Okay, here we go. I've bounced those 3 files and they are ready to import into Kontakt, which I'm going to do here just by selecting them, eerie whistling, and dragging them. Now, here we go. If we open up Kontakt, I'm going to go straight to the mapping editor and I'm going to click on select all zones and I'm going to go into auto map setup and I'm going to go here. You see eerie, ignore me, whistling, ignore me, A3 set to a single key. What this means is when you name the files, you have to think about Kontakt. That's why I named them according to those notes. So if I click apply and close, you can see here, there are my 3 notes. That's wrong. Oh no. That's wrong. That should be A. That should be A4. Now this is an important thing. Make sure you're paying attention when you're naming and bouncing stuff. So let me just delete that. Just save myself the hassle. That's going to be actually A4. There we go. Let's try that again. It's a valuable lesson, children and adults. Probably not children. Select all zones. Automap setup. Apply. Close. There we go. Okay. Now you notice that these notes, I want to click here, this is the root key. So actually it's detuned it. So we want to select those 3. We're going to go to automap functions. Oh, nope, sorry. We're going to go to batch tools and we're going to go to move root key to center, which basically means that those notes are appropriately placed. And now what I'm going to do is another little trick, automap functions, auto spread key ranges via root keys. You could do this, but what I don't want to do is I don't want to spread the samples out because I want them to go down. I want them to be down sampled rather than up sampled. Admittedly, that's not necessarily the right terminology. And I'm going to take this down to E as well. Oh, hello. All I'm doing here is I'm just dragging the sample starts so that now when I play that, you can hear it's loading this sample here. So if I play this note here, it's loading this sample. So I could now play a chord. I'm going to see what it sounds like, this one here, this A. What it sounds like if I just notch it up to... Oh, that doesn't sound too bad, actually. So let me just have a little play around. So how are we sounding? Let's go to a C minor chord. Right now, as it sounds right now, it's a bit like, yeah, okay, that sounds kind of cool. It's just a simple thing. It's kind of dry. And I'm going to keep it dry on purpose because I want you to be able to do what I'm about to do, which is go, okay, I like this pad. I think it sounds cool. Let's load up. In fact, I'm just going to load up Logic Reverb Space Designer. Big old long reverb. My favorite way to do it. Indoor spaces. Let's go for the dome. Let's take the dry down. All of a sudden you have this great sci-fi pad just from whistling. Very nice. And obviously you could do one of my favourite tricks, which would be to then smash it to death. And I usually use Sound Toys Decapitator for that. Let's go to, oh, which one is it? 70s record. Great. Now we've got this great sound. Maybe not the 70s record. Dark Drive. Okay, there we go. So, I mean, I could obviously start to then take those dry samples I've recorded and export them as effects. Then you have all sorts of different ways to play with this instrument. But, you know, I think if I just leave it like this, so that you can just take the dry samples and have a play with them yourself. It'll be a lot of fun. Now, just before I sign off the video, let's just give this a pretty GUI, and obviously I need to save this. So let's save this instrument. Where are we going to save? We're going to save in my Schreiber Samples folder, and we're going to save it as Eerie Whistling. It's great because there's only like 3 samples, which is nice and light. Save. Job done. Now we're going to go to instrument options to create a resource container to add artwork and stuff like that. So where am I going? Music, sample libraries, Schreiber Samples, Eerie Whistling. Oh no. Oh, has it done it there? Yes, it's done it there. Let's just move a new folder. Eerie Whistling. And let's just do it here, okay? And we're going to call this Eerie Whistling. Yes, I'd like you to create a structure. Okay, thank you very much. I'm just going to open up my Eerie Whistling in here. New tab, sample libraries, and Eerie Whistling. Okay, so I'm just going to take these Eerie Whistling samples and the instrument, and I'm going to move that into Eerie Whistling. Where did that move that? Okay, that seems to move it somewhere else. There we go. Oh, especially since I spelled that wrong as well. This is filled with mistakes, Richard. Eerie Whistling. Good job. There we go. Let's go back into close. Let's go back into Kontakt. Open up this, and I've made myself a pretty little piece of artwork for it, which I can't remember where it is. Oh, Richard, so many mistakes. Let me load up the artwork. Okay, great. I located it. And here we go. I'm just going to copy and paste it into there. Eerie Whistling. The Trailer Music School presents Eerie Whistling. Yay. Okay. Now I've got to go into... Oh, hello. That's not what I want, is it? I'm going to go into Logic and open up Where am I? My music sample libraries, and find this piece of artwork for it to use. Resources, pictures, eerie whistling, open, close. Now if I do this, you'll see, oh, it's just white background. So I need to open up the script editor and just do a little bit of scripting, which is on initialization, make perf view, spell that right, yes, and on. Okay, apply. Oh yes, I forgot the underscore. There we go. Apply. Oh, I put on end. Let's do that again. And on. Apply. So when I click this, you can see, oh, it's only a little bit. So I need to change the height of it. So I'm going to go down here underneath make perf view, and I'm going to go set underscore UI underscore height, spelled wrong again, height, brackets 4, apply. Job done. There we go. And we have our eerie whistling. The sample has disappeared. Make sure that all your Excel drives are connected. Okay, so I need to save this again. Okay, so when you have this issue, the samples are missing, you can just go to where it was, eerie whistling. So it was missing because I moved the saved instrument whilst I was working on it, which is a big no-no. So I need to pay attention. So I'm going to exchange sample, and I'm going to click on the one I need. There we go. And this one is E4, exchange sample. Go to the one. Oh, did I just call it? Oh, I did, didn't I? I'm half asleep. A4, and this one exchange sample A3. So it should work now. Yes, it does. Woohoo! Okay, instrument options. Close. I'm going to save this instrument now. Save as eerie whistling. Save it here. Replace it. Samples are there, and boom. So, if you want to get hold of this lovely free little eerie whistling pad, which is kind of like a vocal mimicry of badly played violin harmonics, then you head on over to the Trailer Music School, where you can sign up to a free community membership, which basically means that you can get into the community, you get access to these sample libraries I create and the courses I create for trailer musicians. You get a small discount as well for being a community member if you want to buy one of the courses, and of course you get access to these freebies and other sample libraries that I create. Thank you very much. I do hope you enjoyed it, even though I made a ton of mistakes today. I do hope you enjoyed it, so please click like on the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to know more about trailer music and getting more tools and fun stuff like this. And, you know, leave a comment below once you've downloaded this and used it, and send us a link to the track that you've used this on, because I love hearing it when people use my libraries for their tracks, especially if those tracks get placed, because then it's like, what? Okay, have a great day, guys. Thank you for watching.